The most sophisticated lie the establishment ever whispered in your ear was that wealth is complicated. They need you to believe it is quantum physics, mystical, reserved for the geniuses, the lottery winners, or the bloodlines. It is not. It is basic subtraction. It is aggressively, insultingly simple. The reason you are not wealthy is not a lack of brainpower. It is not because the market is rigged against you. It is because you are operating on a moral software update that was designed to keep you docile. You are playing by the rules of a duel, while the wealthy are playing total war. Niccolò Machiavelli, the architect of modern power, diagnosed this 5 centuries ago. He looked at the human condition and saw a cold reality. The universe does not write checks to the good. It writes checks to the effective. You are suffering because you are trying to be a model employee, a prudent saver, a compliant citizen. You are waiting for society to pat you on the head for your sacrifice. But society does not care about your sacrifice. It respects only one metric: leverage. I am going to hand you the blueprint of the ruling class. It is not polite. It is not egalitarian, but it is effective. If you are easily rattled by harsh truths, leave now. Go back to the warmth of the illusion. But if you want to understand why currency repels off you and magnetizes to them, remain. We are going to deconstruct the fantasy. By the end of this broadcast, you will possess the psychological keys to access the resource that governs the earth. You will understand how to align yourself so that capital flows to you as a gravitational inevitability, not as a pity payment for your exhaustion. But to arrive there, you must be willing to execute the version of yourself that craves validation. Machiavelli noted, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." The system has deceived you. Today, here at the Quiet Folds, we burn the script. But first, we must demolish the pillar of your poverty. Law 1. The Marketplace of Agony. Cease this obsession with following your passion. Passion is a sedative. Passion is for your leisure time. If you desire empire, you must follow the pain. Machiavelli knew that a ruler does not maintain his throne by doing what brings him joy. He maintains it by neutralizing the chaos that keeps his subjects awake at night. Money is simply a receipt for a problem annihilated. The more agonizing the problem, the larger the receipt. The more acute the pain, the less price-sensitive the victim. Audit your existence. You are likely remunerated for your presence. You clock in. You execute a function. You clock out. This is the strategy of a serf. You are bartering your finite heartbeat for a capped wage. It is a mathematical failure. The wealthy do not barter time. They barter the cessation of pain. Consider this. Why does a crisis negotiator earn more than a janitor? Because a dusty hallway is a nuisance. A hostage situation is a tragedy. If you are poor, it is because the problems you fix are too trivial, too simple, or too abundant. You are solving issues that the masses can solve. Thus, you are a commodity. And if you are a commodity, you have zero leverage. Machiavelli advised, one must avoid being despised and hated. But more importantly, he advised making oneself indispensable. Do not seek to be loved by your employer. Seek to be vital. Love is voluntary. Necessity is mandatory. If your boss loves you, he will still cut you when the margins shrink. If your boss needs you because you own the client relationships, the proprietary algorithm, or the supply chain, he is your hostage. He must pay you your ransom. Ask yourself now, what suffering do I erase? If the answer is, I organize spreadsheets, or I move boxes, you are vulnerable. You are competing with billions of humans and impending artificial intelligence. You must locate a pain that is expensive, immediate, and specific. Then you must position yourself as the only antidote. It is simple. Find where the world is bleeding. Financially, emotionally, physically. Stand in the wound. Do not beg for coins. Charge for the tourniquet. Wealth is simple when you realize you are not selling a service. You are selling the absence of misery. Law 2, the Fox and the Snare. Most of you were indoctrinated with the Mule's Manifesto. Work yourself to the bone. Keep your head down. Carry the burden. Eventually the master will open the gate. Machiavelli mocks this. He wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." One must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. The mule works until it collapses. The fox studies the mechanism and finds the back door. The trap you are caught in is the dogma that exertion equals income. It does not. If exertion equaled income, the woman scrubbing floors would be a billionaire, and the man allocating assets on a tablet would be destitute. Reality demonstrates the inverse. Because the economy does not reward effort. It rewards outcome. The mule uses brute force. The fox uses leverage. Leverage is the science of amplifying output without increasing input. It is the hidden engine of the elite. There are 3 forms of Machiavellian leverage you must command. First, labor leverage. This is the art of delegation. The mule carries the rock. The fox hires 10 mules and takes a royalty on every rock moved. Second, capital leverage. This is making currency sweat for you. The mule hides his cash in a mattress. The fox borrows the mule's cash from the bank to acquire the land the mule grazes on. Third, and most critical for you, media and code leverage. This is the infinite multiplier. This script I am narrating, it is recorded once, but it will be consumed by thousands, perhaps millions. The effort is singular. The return is infinite. That is the fox. If you are in a profession where you must physically appear to generate revenue, you are in a cage. You have no leverage. Wealth becomes automatic when you stop asking, "How can I work harder?" and start asking, "How can I divorce my revenue from my pulse?" You need to construct a machine. A corporation is a machine. A stock portfolio is a machine. A YouTube channel like The Quiet Folds is a machine. Software is a machine. The rich spend their youth assembling the machine so they can spend their adulthood calibrating it. The poor spend their lives being the machine. Which function do you serve? Law 3, the Optical Empire. Here is a harsh reality that will bruise your ego. You are not compensated for your true value. You are compensated for your perceived value. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few really know what you are." In the accumulation of capital, optics are not vanity, they are strategy. If you present as cheap, you will be bargained down. If you present as desperate, you will be predated upon. If you present as unsure, capital will flee from you. Observe 2 architects. Architect A is a savant, but he arrives in ill-fitting clothes, speaks with a tremble, and answers the phone on the first ring because he needs the cash. Architect B is mediocre, but he possesses a pristine digital presence. He speaks with slow, heavy intent. He is difficult to reach, and his fee is astronomically higher. Who wins the bid? Architect B, every time. Why? Because the market operates on heuristics. It assumes price implies quality. It assumes scarcity implies value. You are likely undercutting yourself because you price based on your internal struggle. You know how hard you worked, or perhaps how easy the task is for you now. So you charge for your effort. Cease this. Price is a signal. When you double your price, you do not just increase revenue, you create a superior caliber of clientele. You signal to the world that you are a luxury good. Machiavelli advised princes to maintain an aura of majesty, to never let the populace see them waver or plead. Adopt this. Never lament about finances in public. Never appear to need the deal. The ultimate negotiating position is the ability to walk away and truly mean it. Humans are status-seeking primates. We are biologically wired to defer to the high-status signal. If you project status through your discipline, your aesthetic, your diction, and your boundaries, people will instinctively desire to offer you their resources. They want proximity to power. If you project fragility, they will instinctively desire to plunder you. Audit your transmission. Not just your attire, but your digital shadow, your cadence, your availability. Are you broadcasting, "I am a commodity"? Or are you broadcasting, "I am the prize"? Wealth flows to the prize. Law 4, the surgery of removal. You believe you need more to become wealthy, more concepts, more networking, more hours in the day. Machiavelli would tell you that you need less. A prince cannot govern if his court is infested with flatterers, parasites, and saboteurs. He must purge them. Your life is likely choked with poverty-inducing variables. First, the people. I will not give you the banal advice that you are the average of your 5 friends. I will go darker. You are the victim of what you tolerate. If you tolerate peers who weep about the economy, you inhale their defeatism. If you tolerate partners who prioritize safety over sovereignty, they will chain you to the floor. Machiavelli was ruthless about eliminating those who threatened the stability of the state. You must be ruthless about eliminating those who threaten the trajectory of your empire. This is not malice, it is quarantine. Poverty is a pathogen. It transmits through vocabulary, "I can't afford it," through rituals, spending weekends escaping reality rather than constructing it, and through fear. If you are the most intelligent person in the room, you are in the wrong room. You are decaying. Second, amputate the noise. You ingest hours of media that makes you agitated, envious, or sedated. This is mental arsenic. The wealthy consume intelligence that provides an edge. The poor consume distraction that provides an exit. Every time you scroll, you are enriching a stranger. You are the product. Your attention is the oil they are drilling for. Machiavelli would look at a man scrolling through short-form videos for 3 hours and see a serf who is in love with his shackles. Reclaim your focus. It is the raw material of your fortune. If you cannot concentrate for 4 hours on a singular objective, building the enterprise, mastering the skill, you will never be rich. Focus is the new intellect. In a civilization of dopamine addicts, the man who can sit in silence and execute until completion is a deity. Getting rich is simple. Delete everything that does not feed the asset. Friends, habits, applications, thoughts. If it does not pay rent, evict it. Law 5. The virtue trap. This is where we abandon the polite society. You have been programmed with the idea that money is the root of corruption, that the wealthy are avaricious, and that there is nobility in struggle. Machiavelli taught that a prince must learn how not to be good. This does not mean being evil. It means being pragmatic. The world is not a fairy tale. It is a gladiatorial arena for finite resources. If you feel guilt about receiving money, you will repel it. You must alter your relationship with the transaction. When you sell something of worth, you are not taking money. You are exchanging value. But here is the colder truth. The market is indifferent to your intentions. It cares only for your results. You must be willing to be aggressive. You must be willing to compete. If you launch a venture, you are attempting to seize market share from another. You are trying to put a stake on your plate, which may mean taking it off theirs. This is the physics of the game. If you are too nice to close the deal, a shark will close it. If you are too polite to negotiate your worth, the corporation will pocket the surplus. Your niceness is essentially a donation to people who do not care if you starve. Machiavelli argues that it is safer to be feared than loved. In commerce, this translates to, it is better to be respected for your competence and your boundaries than to be liked for your submissiveness. Stop attempting to be the good guy. The good guy finishes last because he prioritizes everyone else's comfort over his own mission. The wealthy prioritize the mission. They are not necessarily cruel, but they are deaf to the opinions of the irrelevant. They handle friction. They terminate incompetent staff. They enforce contracts. They say no without a preamble. To accumulate wealth, you must cultivate a height of iron. You must be willing to be misunderstood. You must be willing to be labeled greedy or obsessed by those who are destitute. Wear their judgment as armor. It signifies you are ascending. If you are still listening, it means you survived the filter. Most did not. They clicked away when I told them their mediocrity was a choice of tolerance. They fled when I said niceness is a liability in the accumulation of power. Good. We do not require them. Wealth is exclusive by design. If everyone possessed it, it would have no value. Now that we have cleansed the room, let us descend into the mechanics of capture. Because generating cash is futile if you do not know how to retain it, multiply it, and use it to purchase your sovereignty. Law 6, the fortress of retention. Machiavelli dedicated as much ink to retaining power as he did to seizing it. He knew that men are fickle. They turn when the wind changes. The world is engineered to claw your money back. The state wants it in taxes. The corporations want it in consumerism. Inflation wants it in devaluation. Parasites want it in favors. If you generate $1 million and spend $1 million, you are not rich. You are merely a high-velocity tunnel. You are the plumbing through which currency flows. Wealth is the water that remains in the reservoir. The matrix is designed to turn you into a consumer. Every advertisement, every algorithm, every societal expectation is calibrated to separate you from your capital. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Upgrade your life. This is propaganda. The wealthy do not upgrade until the asset foots the bill. Here is the commandment. You never purchase luxury with labor. You purchase luxury with the interest generated by assets. If you toil to buy the car, you are a servant to the car. You must continue toiling to keep it. But if you use your labor to buy an asset, a rental unit, a dividend stock, a business, and that asset buys the car, you are free. The asset is the servant. The asset does the sweating. Machiavelli would advise you to construct a fortress. Legally, this means mastering tax efficiency. It means utilizing entities to shield your liability. Socially, it means practicing stealth wealth. True power is quiet. The loudest man in the room is usually the one leveraged to his eyeballs. He is fanning his feathers to prove he can fly. The eagle hunts in silence. When the capital begins to accumulate, shut your mouth. Do not buy the gaudy timepiece to impress people you detest. Buy the freedom to wake up at noon on a Tuesday if you choose. That is the ultimate flex. Defense is half the game. If you are not paranoid about losing what you have built, you will lose it. Machiavelli warned, a wise prince ought never in peaceful times stand idle, but increase his resources with industry in such a way that they may be available to him in adversity. When the money is flowing, that is the exact moment to dig the moat. All 7, the weaponization of time. Let us return to leverage, applied to your mortality. You are expiring. I do not say this to breed despair. I say it to breed urgency. Every second that evaporates is a second you will never reclaim. The poor sell their time, the rich buy time. This is the canyon between the classes. When you scrub your own toilet, you are declaring that your hour is worth the $20 it would cost to hire a cleaner. When you queue to save $5, you are valuing your life at pennies. Machiavelli knew that a ruler cannot execute every task. He must delegate. You must become fanatical about your effective hourly rate. If you aim to be a millionaire, your time must be valued at $500 an hour. If you are performing a task that can be outsourced for $20, you are bleeding $480 every hour. You are incinerating wealth by engaging in busy work. This is why getting rich is simple. You simply cease low-value activity. You outsource, you automate, you delete. But I cannot afford to hire help. You cannot afford not to. This is the leap of faith. You hire the help to liberate the time to acquire the skills that pay $500 an hour. You must be arrogant with your calendar, guarding it like a Jershon guards its hoard. Do not let people pick your brain. Do not sit in meetings that could be emails. Do not attend social rituals out of obligation. Machiavelli said, "It is necessary to be a great pretender and dissembler. Learn to say no with grace. Learn to be unavailable. The more scarce your presence, the more valuable it becomes. When you detach your income from your time, Law 2, and then defend your remaining time, Law 7, you achieve the Holy Grail. Autonomy, you wake up, you choose your action, you execute. That is wealth. Everything else is just golden handcuffs. Law 8, the asymmetric bet. The world tells you to play fair. Machiavelli tells you to win. In finance, this is known as asymmetry. You seek wagers where the downside is capped, but the upside is uncapped. Employment has a capped upside. You will never earn 1,000 times your salary next month, but the downside is total. Termination. That is bad asymmetry. Starting a venture, creating content, or investing in a volatile but promising asset. The downside is you lose some capital or time. The upside? You alter your destiny forever. You need to hunt for unfair advantages. What do you know that the herd does not? Who do you know? What pain can you endure that others cannot? Perhaps your unfair advantage is your geography. Perhaps it is a second language. Perhaps it is an obsessive knowledge of a niche. Lean into the spike. Do not attempt to be well-rounded. Well-rounded people make excellent cogs. Spiky people make history. Find your spike. Sharpen it until it is lethal. If you write, write until you are the master. If you sell, sell until you own the vertical. Specialization is how you monopolize value. Machiavelli advised focusing all force on the enemy's weakest point. Find the weak point in the market, the thing everyone is ignoring, the thing being done poorly, and assault it with your unfair advantage. Do not compete. Dominate. Law 9, the death of hope. This is the final and most brutal law. Hope is a strategy for the incompetent. I hope I get a raise. I hope the market rallies. I hope I get a break. Machiavelli despised those who relied on fortuna, luck. He admired virtù, boldness/skill. He famously wrote that fortune is a woman, and to keep her under, one must treat her roughly. Strip away the 16th century archaic phrasing and see the metaphysical truth. You cannot wait for luck to arrive. You must drag it into existence. You must execute the part of you that is waiting to be rescued. No one is coming. There is no bailout for your life. There is no wealthy benefactor. There is no winning ticket. There is only you and the cold indifference of the market. This realization terrifies the fragile, but it liberates the potent. If it is up to you, then you possess the controls. Stop hoping. Start plotting. A plan is not a fantasy. A plan is a sequence of tactical moves. Acquire a high-leverage skill. Apply that skill to a painful problem. Charge for the relief. Use the capital to acquire assets. Repeat until you are sovereign. It is boring. It is repetitive. It is simple. The only variable is your will. Are you willing to do the tedious work when the inspiration fades? Are you willing to study when the masses are intoxicated? Are you willing to risk humiliation? If the answer is yes, wealth is inevitable. It is not a possibility. It is a mathematical certainty. It is merely a function of time. So why is getting rich simpler than you imagine? Because you have been suffocating the process with emotion. You have injected fear, guilt, pride, and expectation into a simple equation of value exchange. Remove the emotion. Look at the board. The rules are visible. Identify pain. Provide a solution. Leverage systems. Fortify the capital. Buy back your life. That is all. The difficult part is not the how. The difficult part is the who. Who must you become to execute this? You must become the outlier. You must become the person who is comfortable in the cold, the person who does not require the applause of the herd, the person who sees the world not as it ought to be, but as it is. Machiavelli did not write The Prince to be popular. He wrote it to document the truth. And the truth is, you have the power to rewrite your reality, but only if you drop the victim script. You are the architect. The blueprints are in your hands. The question is, will you build? But be warned, once you embark on this path, you cannot return. Once you see the strings, you can no longer be a marionette. You will find it difficult to relate to your old peers. You will find it impossible to complain. You will find it unbearable to tolerate mediocrity. Wealth isolates before it liberates. Are you prepared for that silence? Most people are not. They would rather be poor and understood than rich and alone. But you are still watching the quiet folds, which means you suspect deep in your marrow that you were built for the storm. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can display in the light. There are transmissions I cannot broadcast to the masses. There are aspects of dark psychology and influence that I simply cannot discuss on this public platform without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most potent information. Those truths exist behind the join button. If you are still here, you are not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what is hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored briefings that dive into the deepest recesses of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.